The gunfire cracked through Kano like thunder, refusing to wait for a storm. In a region known more for trade than trench warfare, 19 armed bandits were killed in a firefight so intense it rattled the country's northwest. Shinono, once a quiet corner of Kano State, now looks like the opening episode of a geopolitical thriller. But this wasn't a random shootout. It was a message. For years, northern Nigeria has been a boiling pot, with the lid barely hanging on. Bandits, extremist militias, and full-blown Islamic terror outfits like Boko Haram and ISWAP, the Islamic State West Africa province, have been carving out territory, kidnapping villages, looting towns, and turning highways into hunting grounds. And the world is finally starting to take notice. On Tuesday, Nigerian forces struck first. According to Army spokesman Babatunde Zuberu, troops backed by local security agencies raided a suspected bandit hideout in Shinono. When the smoke cleared, 19 bandits lay dead. But the victory came with loss. 2 soldiers and 1 local vigilante were also killed. It wasn't a clean takedown. It was a street-brawl firefight, with billets arguing louder than negotiators ever could. This clash didn't come out of nowhere. Northern Nigeria has become a patchwork of battles, bandit gangs fighting everyone, jihadi groups killing civilians, and villagers trying to survive the world's worst neighborhood without moving. It's like trying to mow the lawn during a tornado, with scissors. Thousands have been killed over the years, millions displaced across the north, forced from their homes by gunmen on motorbikes with more bullets than remorse. You know a place is dangerous when the chickens are evacuating before the humans. The Nigerian military's operation is part of a broader campaign to regain control of the north. They've been moving across multiple states, Zamfara, Kaduna, Katsina, the kind of operation where everyone is invited except peace. But here's the twist. What used to be bandit attacks is rapidly mutating into full-scale insurgency. Bandits are forming alliances with jihadist groups, and these jihadists, they don't just want land, they want an empire, a caliphate, one that stretches across Nigeria and into the Sahel. Groups like Boko Haram have been terrorizing the northeast for over a decade, bombing markets, raiding villages, and kidnapping schoolchildren. Their hit list is basically civilians, everyone else. Then you have ISWAP, the nastier cousin who thinks Boko Haram is too soft. They're well-armed, well-funded, and their operations look less like chaos and more like military drills. They've taken over entire rural regions and imposed their own rule, courts, taxes, the whole welcome to hell starter pack. So when Kano, a major commercial hub, sees a firefight this serious, it's not just a local issue. It's a threat with ambitions. Shanono's gun battle is a warning shot. If violence spreads deeper into Kano, Nigeria risks a national security meltdown. The north is the country's agricultural and economic backbone. Destabilize Kano, and you're not just lighting a fire, you're throwing gasoline into the air and praying no one sneezes. And now, the United States is paying attention. Washington has watched Nigeria's security unravel for years, Boko Haram pledging to ISIS, ISWAP claiming attacks, Christians being slaughtered, villagers executed, aid workers kidnapped. It's like every extremist group got the same email. Chaos happening in Nigeria. BYOB, bring your own bomb. US intelligence analysts have warned that Nigeria, Africa's biggest economy and most populated nation, is too important to lose to extremist takeover. And with the Sahel region already crawling with jihadist factions, nobody wants Nigeria to be the next Afghanistan. The Pentagon has quietly increased reports and assessments on the region. US diplomats have been pressuring Nigerian officials to tighten counterterrorism strategies. Even American special operations trainers have supported Nigerian forces in the past, because if Nigeria falls, West Africa becomes a playground for extremists. Back to the firefight. Nigerian soldiers and local vigilantes stormed the hideout in Shanono. It wasn't stealth, it was shock and awe, Nigerian style. When the first shots rang, the bandits fought back with automatic rifles and grenades. It turned into an all-out brawl. 2 soldiers fell, a vigilante stepped into legend, and 19 bandits met their exit interview, delivered via 5.56mm. This wasn't cops versus robbers. This was war in a place that markets cola nuts and textiles, not death. But one raid isn't enough. Nigeria's security forces are stretched thinner than a cheap bedsheet in a motel. They're covering multiple states, different insurgencies, and a battlefield scattered like confetti at the world's worst birthday party. Morale is hit or miss, funding is limited, equipment is aging, troops are exhausted. And every time one group is pushed back, two more appear like villain sequels nobody asked for. The problem isn't just guns, it's governance. Decades of poverty, corruption, and poor policing have turned entire regions into fertile ground for extremism. When the government shows up once a decade, with excuses, bandits bound the authority. You call the police. They say, we'll be there Thursday. It is currently Monday. Next month. That's how bandits turn into kings. So what's next? Nigeria has to wage a war on two fronts. Kill the extremists. Fix the country. The second task might be harder. Meanwhile, the US is scouting the region like a talent agent at a disaster movie. Because if this gets worse, Africa's biggest nation could slip into chaos, and Washington knows what happens when extremist fire spread. They pack fast. They grow faster. In the end, Shinono is more than a battleground. It's a symbol. A message saying, Northern Nigeria is still fighting, and the flames are getting closer to the capital than anyone wants to admit. So here's the question. Will Nigeria's military be able to hold the line? Or will jihadists and bandits transform West Africa's biggest powerhouse into the next global crisis zone? Let us know what you think in the comments and subscribe to the channel for up-to-date news on what's happening around the world. See you soon.